Welcome back to Peek Into COS. Today, we are joined by Scott Levy, Executive Director of Greenbox Arts and Board Chair for the Cultural Office of the Pikes Peak region. Scott, nice to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Doug.
Yeah, this is great. You've got an amazing background, and I would say in some ways that Greenbox is lucky to have you. We are all fortunate that you've chosen Colorado Springs. So why don't we just talk a little bit about what Greenbox is, where it's located, and then we'll get into your history.
Sure. Greenbox is a year-round arts organization in the beautiful, tiny mountain hamlet town of Green Mountain Falls, right on the edge of where El Paso and Teller County connect.
Going up the pass.
Exactly.
Up to Pikes Peak.
Up the pass. And for those who don't really know Green Mountain Falls but have traveled that Route 24, the reason why is because there's a big butte that shields the actual town from the highway, so you can't see it from the highway. Green Mountain Falls is pretty much equally in between Manitou Springs and Woodland Park. And Christian Cassie and Larry Kegwin, a wonderful couple who live most of the time in New York City, have a history with Green Mountain Falls. Chris grew up in Oklahoma City, and his grandparents brought him to Green Mountain Falls every summer. They had one of the original cabins. And so then we fast forward many decades, and Chris and Larry have a son, and they come back to Green Mountain Falls, and Chris goes, there's just nothing going on here anymore. So he decides, well, we better do something about it.
I love it.
And
let's come up with a solution.
Yeah, right. And so in the interim, Larry Kegwin is a world-renowned choreographer. He has his own modern dance company in New York City. And Larry said to Chris one day, I'm thinking about bringing my dance company somewhere for a retreat in the summer. And Chris said, well, why don't we bring them to Green Mountain Falls? And they built a outdoor studio theater basically in their backyard.
Yep.
And that is how Greenbox began, really sort of as a family talent show, for lack of a better word. So this is in around 2007, 2008. Greenbox formally becomes a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 2009. And for the first decade of Greenbox's formal existence, Greenbox exclusively presented a summer multidisciplinary arts festival, which is still the crown jewel of our programming. But then partly why I came on as executive director is that our outdoor museum, this collection of sculptures, three-dimensional work, was really taking off. And when Greenbox decided to build a sky space, this experiential light and space work by James Turrell, they recognized that Greenbox was turning into a year-round organization. And that's not just what we do, and we can get into that later. But that's the very short genesis of Greenbox, really looking at how can arts help a small community, not just with community pride, but economic development and a way to get people to be interested in the community and to come visit.
Is there another model somewhere that Greenbox more or less put on the refrigerator and said, when we grow up, we want to be like you?
Well, I think the seeds of the idea of Greenbox stemmed from the artistic community in Marfa, Texas.
Marfa, Texas.
Yeah, which has a similar, very much, I think Marfa is more in the middle of nowhere than Green Mountain Falls is.
Yeah.
But a very open place, very interesting contemporary art sort of found a home there. And even so much that one of our venues that we call the Farm Stand was modeled after a similar venue in Marfa, Texas. But in all of the work that I've done over the last 5 years at Greenbox, it's very clear to me that there are very few, if any, similar organizations that have the full breadth of work that we do.
Okay.
Little pieces from various places, but Greenbox is a little bit of a unicorn.
Well, and I would imagine that over time, others have come and studied you.
Indeed.
Yeah, and studied Greenbox.
Yeah.
So you've got you've got a great model
Yes.
in which, and it's survived the test of time. It's gone through the pandemic. I mean, yeah, great to be outdoors, right?
And in 2028, it'll be the 20th anniversary of Greenbox. So yeah, really.
I love it.
Yeah.
Scott, let's let listeners know about your career.
Sure.
I mean, 25 plus years, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Well, I'm a Connecticut Yankee.
Yeah.
I grew up in New England. Went to NYU for both my bachelor's and master's degrees in theater. Worked on Broadway as a producer, directed and performed off Broadway, and taught at NYU and the Guggenheim Museum and places like this. And now, just about 21 years ago, when my wife and I were starting a family, we decided to get out of New York City. Right. And my first stop was running the Penobscot Theater, a regional theater company in Bangor, Maine, where I was for 6 years. And then in 2011, the Colorado Springs Fine Arts Center called, and it just worked out that that I was appointed as the producing artistic director of the theater company at the Fine Arts Center. So that's what's brought us to the area. And in the middle of COVID, things were changing all the way across the board, and I was looking for a new opportunity. And it just so happened, as I previously mentioned, that Greenbox was looking for its first executive director, and this was an opportunity for me to expand my creative interests to take in not just theater, but all art forms, visual and performing arts, but also to be able to stay in the region where we've raised our family. So it was really the best of both worlds. I continually teach. I'm on the faculty at UCCS. I teach theater directing. I adjudicate and serve on committees for arts organizations and grant opportunities throughout the country. And as you noted, I am currently in my second year as the chair of the board of the Cultural Office of the Pikes Peak region.
That's great. You and I moved here the same year, 2011.
Yeah.
And people will often ask, so like, what's changed? And when you think about it, Scott, when we got here, our streetlights were off.
Yep.
And we weren't watering our parks, and there were things we weren't. We had just started a new, strong mayor form of government. Mm-hmm. But if you were to look back in the rearview mirror and think about how the arts scene has changed in 16 years, how would you?
Significantly.
Yeah, sure.
Right? I think that for the core population that we have in the region, the amount of cultural amenities far surpasses that of other similar-sized regions in the United States. Okay. Colorado is ranked as the #1 state in the country that has the greatest participation per capita of arts enthusiasts.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And so, to some degree, we can say that Colorado is one of the most creative states in the United States.
Okay.
And there are all kinds of reasons why that is so. But I do think that particularly over the last decade, we have seen Colorado Springs blossom in so many ways. And the core quality of living is not just about our beautiful backscape and our fabulous outdoor opportunities, but our cultural life is what brings energy and an interest, I think, in a lot of ways to the region.
Well, and we know that tourism benefits from the arts, and Angela and I and Andy previously would talk about the number of people from Denver or along the Front Range in general that will come down for a great show and tend to spend more money than the average visitor, if you will. They'll stay the night. They'll usually do some fine dining experiences and take in a couple of different forms of art.
We saw at our arts festival last summer, 2.5-week-long arts festival, we saw visitors from 35 states and 12 international countries just in a 2.5-week period.
Well, the Ford Amphitheater has said in the first season that they were open, they had 49 states represented.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're right. Colorado, we're so blessed to have not only artistic assets, but the natural assets
Yep.
that people just want to come. Okay, so you described Greenbox a little bit, but I'll bet you we have listeners that wonder Green Mountain Falls. Okay, so there was nothing there really to do. Now there's Greenbox.
Yep.
Talk about Green Mountain Falls as a little town, little community.
Green Mountain Falls is the most darling little true Colorado mountain town
Okay.
that is so close to downtown Colorado Springs, right? I mean, it is a 20-minute drive from downtown Colorado Springs up to the heart of Green Mountain Falls. The community really was created, I will say, in the late 19th century by the Colorado Midland Railroad Company because there was a tourist train.
Okay.
Why can't we have it back? That went from here, Colorado Springs, all the way to Cripple Creek, and then out further. And there was a stop in Green Mountain Falls. They made a little lake. People that are from other parts of the country would call it a pond, but because it's Colorado, we call it a lake. And people would get off the train. There was the Green Mountain Falls Land Office where you could purchase a parcel of land, goodness sake, right? And then carry on with your journey. You could rent a canoe, this sort of. So it had this recreational vibe from the beginning. And because of that land office, it was in the 1890s, a lot of people from Kansas, Texas, and Oklahoma who were coming to the Colorado mountains to escape the heat and humidity.
Some things never changed.
So a lot of those families bought land and built cabins. You know, throughout the history of Colorado Springs, a lot of people have given Colorado Springs the moniker of Newport of the Rockies.
Right.
But I can tell you that Green Mountain Falls is literally the Newport of the Rockies.
That's the epicenter.
Right? So let's go now into the 20th century, and the school district is part of the Manitou Springs School District. The UPass Elementary School is the closest school to Green Mountain Falls. But these little UPass communities, Cascade, Chipeta Park, Green Mountain Falls, Cristola,
Cascade,
all these things that are right in between Manitou Springs and Woodland Park are developing. Now, Green Mountain Falls has a year-round population of 700 people, but in the summer, because of these summer cabins that have stayed in the families, the population swells to 2,000. Still with that very easy way of living.
Sure.
It's generally 10 degrees cooler in Green Mountain Falls than it is in downtown Colorado Springs, so it stays pretty
what's
mild.
the elevation?
7,800 feet is the elevation in Green Mountain Falls. Amazing natural hiking trails that go up to the Ring the Peak Trail. Other natural amenities. We have now, with our sister organization, the Historic Green Mountain Falls Foundation, brought horses back into town through a horse wellness meadow, which is part of the heritage of Green Mountain Falls as a community. So it's a very tight-knit community for the 700 year-round residents, and I'm just so thankful that the community is thankful for what Greenbox is bringing and how we are also able to improve the town's historic assets and infrastructure. Our campus is in effect the entire town. We don't have gates. We have venues, outdoor, indoor, formal, informal, dotted all over town. And a lot of our indoor venues are historic buildings that we have taken care of to ensure that they remain part of the fabric of the community.
The people who are listening to this, who are residents of the Pikes Peak area, know a lot about the Arts Festival, and I think your dates are like July 4 to 19
for the summer of 2026, July 4th through the 19th. Yep.
Right. So let's talk about maybe people who are planning a visit to come, or they could be here right now and thinking about, well, what do I do? Let's talk a little bit about the Arts Festival and set the stage for that.
Sure. So, well, I will say that Greenbox does have something available every day of the year.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what time you're visiting.
Okay, good.
Come anytime.
And that website is?
greenboxarts.org.
.org.
Yep,
Greenboxarts.org.
greenboxarts.org. So the Greenbox Arts Festival is a true multidisciplinary arts festival. Visual and performing arts, every single possible modality. Theater, film, dance, music, painting, photography, sculpture, you name it. Over the course of the 2+ weeks of the festival, we will hold approximately 140 unique events. But we thrive on providing intimate experiences.
Yeah.
And so most events at the festival, and I'll say just about the majority of the events are free
Yeah.
to attend. The other events have a very low admission price. They sell out very quickly.
Yeah.
Some events are actually designed for only a dozen people to attend. Our indoor theater, where this summer we will be presenting a lot of performances, but the hallmark is Oklahoma City Ballet. Tickets are $15. Seat 180 people. So it's an experience to see world-class performers in a venue smaller than any other place that you will ever be able to see them in. So lots of concerts. We also are this summer, we are the first organization outside of New Mexico to show Santa Fe opera performance.
Oh my.
So we're screening. They filmed La Boheme last year, but we have the artistic director of Santa Fe Opera coming up. We're going to have a pre-opera tailgate party just like they do in Santa Fe and screen La Boheme as part of the festival this summer. We always have on multiple days during the festival and on weekends throughout the entire summer season, guided art walks, which are free, to really explore our whole campus of the town and to take in the more than a dozen internationally renowned artists' work. And we'll be unveiling 5 new works on the 4th of July this summer for people to take part in.
That's, well, I think, you know, when you think about the summers, okay, in general, one of the things that we try to do at Visit Colorado Springs is remind people that we are a year-round destination.
Yes.
Okay, that yes, we know how you were formed and the summers and why people want to get away from the heat and all those other things. But I love the fact that you've got these year-round attractions, if you will, and events that happen. I know you've got arts camps.
We do in the summer, for the K through 8th grade crowd, and these are integrated arts camps. Again, every possible modality of arts in the fun setting, including visits to the outdoor Green Mountain Falls Municipal Pool, which is the oldest operating municipal pool in the state.
Wow, didn't know that.
Since the 40s.
Let's talk about Sky Space.
Oh, yes. So the Green Mountain Falls Sky Space by James Turrell. Now, James Turrell is a world-renowned sculptor of light and space from the American Southwest, from Arizona. And he's built about 100 sky spaces across the world. Ours is the first in Colorado and the first and only to be built into the side of a mountain. And what is it? It is an observation chamber. Imagine, in a way, a planetarium. But instead of a projector that has stars on it, inside this chamber that has benches on all 4 sides of a square room, it seats 25 people, there is an 8-foot square clear opening to the sky, literally called an oculus. And the rest of the ceiling of the room takes on saturated colors and undulates through these colors. James Turrell designed the sky spaces to be best experienced at sunrise or sunset, with the idea that you are watching the sky either come to light or move into darkness. It is a sometimes spiritual, often meditative, extraordinary artistic experience. And our sky space, because it's on the side of a mountain, requires a journey to get to it. Whether that is a short but somewhat strenuous 15-minute hike, or for people who need assistance, we do have an all-terrain vehicle that drives people up and down. But that is part of the experience, getting to the sky space itself. And we've seen a lot of people come at each season of the year
Okay.
because it's different.
Year round, exactly.
We see a lot of people who might come for a weekend and maybe stay close to us or stay in Colorado Springs for the weekend and take in a sunrise show and then a sunset show. And then our roof is retractable. So we're also able to have a closed roof experience midday. The Sky Space is open year round.
Yes.
So people can take advantage and experience the Sky Space any time of the year.
And does Sky Space have its own website?
No, it's on our Greenbox
it's all
Arts.
on Greenbox.
Yep,
It's
all on the
part-
greenboxarts.org website. But and there are a few people who actually are sort of pilgrims
Okay.
and try to visit all of the Sky Spaces that exist in the world. I'd say maybe we've seen 1 to 2 dozen of these people over the last 4 years that the Sky Space has been open. And without fail, every single one of them says that the Green Mountain Falls Sky Space is the best of all the Sky Spaces that they visited. I mean, we just did it right.
Well, that's kudos.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk for a second here about our sponsor of today's episode, which is Visit Colorado Springs and our Wellness Pass. As we have kind of kicked off the new year of 2026, we've said new year, new you. The Wellness Pass features deals and discounts to various spas, massage studios, and relaxation experiences around the region. And you can prioritize your wellness this year, and you can find all this information at visitcos.com/wellness. So,
Can I
please, Scott.
interrupt you
Absolutely.
because of what you just said? Wellness is a very important part of our mission, and in fact, in the festival, one of our tracks, so we have visual arts, we have performing arts, we have conversations, we have parties, and we have healing arts, and this takes the form of yoga. Sessions, meditation sessions, healing sound journey sessions in the Sky Space.
Right.
So we are very attuned to where the nature and arts intersect.
And how our city was founded.
Absolutely.
Was wellness. I mean, people came
Absolutely.
here for the sunshine and for tuberculosis and to get healed and things like that. So, okay. So, Scott, you and your wife, you've lived here 16 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've got a couple of kids here. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that we'll just get you thinking. At least you've been here long enough you can reflect as a Connecticut Yankee still. All right. So in 3 words, how would you describe Colorado Springs?
Open, friendly, pure.
Open, friendly, and pure. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What is your favorite hidden gem in the whole region? Where do you go to escape and just return?
Well, I'm not really going to tell you because then people are going to show up, and then that would be against the point.
Find me. Right.
Right. Boy, I mean, it's odd and maybe it's biased, but the reality is that I lived in Colorado Springs for 8 years before I even knew Green Mountain Falls existed.
Okay. Sure.
And I have to say that Green Mountain Falls is still, despite our great success, despite the visitation from people all over the world, Green Box and Green Mountain Falls is still a hidden gem.
It's still your place,
of the Pikes Peak region. I mean, I think about. I'm a foodie, so I think about food, and there's some hidden gems all throughout the region.
Sure.
Many of them actually appear in strip malls, so don't be afraid of the strip malls to find one of the best meals you could find. And then, I wish I knew the name of it, but there's when my kids were little, there was that great pool over by Centennial. It's a
YMCA.
I think. What is it? It's like Centennial and 30th Street. Over there, there's the public pools that are available are really exciting, particularly in the summer.
Yeah, there's some parks. Yeah,
those are just some things that come type. Oh, and then I'm once a month or so you can find me at like the Antiques Marketplace.
Yeah,
that's
great. What's still on your bucket list? What have you and the family, what have you not done that you're just going to admit to the audience, okay, we've talked about it, we've never done it?
Well, we haven't gone to Morocco or Egypt yet. So that's on the bucket list.
Right.
You're not going to believe this, but I have, in the 16 years that I have been here, I have never gone to the top of Pikes Peak.
Oh. Okay. So you've laid it out there.
Yep.
You can drive it. You can take the cog. There are a number of ways up there. And Scott, what I think is pretty amazing about the top of Pikes Peak with the new Summit Visitor Center that was built up there, it's accessible for everyone. It was built and designed at the same time the Olympic Museum was being built, the Olympic and Paralympic Museum. And accessibility was one of the key things that went into the design of both that are now award-winning buildings. So I hope that your kids, somebody will listen to this and go, okay, Dad,
taking you up there.
You dropped the mic. When are we going to go to the top of Pikes Peak?
Or someone will call me and say, I'm going to buy you a donut.
Exactly. All right. Let's kind of put a bow on this, and let's remind people of first, remind everybody about Greenbox, and then I want you to talk a little bit about copper.
Sure. Greenbox as an organization is truly an artistic utopia for the entire region, if not the country and therefore the world. Activities all year long. We talked about the festival, which every summer is around the 4th of July. It just so happens in 2026, we are starting with a big America 250 celebration, a big parade, and lots of free performances all day long. So July 4th through the 19th, our Sky Space and the rest of our outdoor museum items are available every day of the year. There is an admission price, $5, $10 for the Sky Space shows, but other than that, it's all free.
Very modest.
And we have a walking audio tour that's free that you can download on your cell phone, and you can sort of make your own tour. Arts education, mostly via summer camps, but also consider field trips to the Sky Space and to the rest of our property, and our year-round artist in residency program. We bring in artists from all over the world for up to 30 days at a time. Again, all different types of artists. The only thing that we require of the artist is that they give back and that we have some sort of community engagement. So there are often free performances, open studio visits, master classes, and all the information is always on our website, greenboxarts.org. We're also pretty heavily involved in Facebook and Instagram, so you can find us there.
Peak Radar and Cultural Office.
Yeah, the Cultural Office.
You're the board chair. So
Indeed.
Let's put a bow on this whole thing for people that wonder about the arts in the Pikes Peak region.
So, as I said at the beginning, the entire arts and cultural scene, it's in a way an embarrassment of riches. I mean, the scene is so full. There are so many talented artists and organizations that live here, work here, and make here, and all of us, without fail, all we want is for people to come.
Yeah.
And to enjoy, or come and be a part. I mean, audition for shows and whatnot. The Cultural Office of the Pikes Peak region is the organization here that is the central clearinghouse for everything that's going on. And peakradar.com is the cultural calendar of the Pikes Peak region. Yep. And I know that that the Visit COS website embeds it
on our homepage.
Right? And so that is the one-stop shop to really get a sense of everything that you can possibly get yourself into while you're here. Interestingly, I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine in a different state yesterday, and we were talking about that state creating a cultural calendar. And they said, that everybody they've talked to says that Peak Radar is the single best example of a cultural calendar in the United States. And so it is a little bit of a model. The number of events that are on there are just, it's overwhelming. But it's easy to search and find what you might be looking for, or go to peakradar.com, find something that you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And go check that out.
Well, that's exactly
because you
right.
might have a great time in something
that's
unexpected.
What in Arts Month, which is October,
Yeah.
we're forever challenging people to experiment. But for those of you listening, if you live here and you've invited people to come, and you're the host, if you will. Of course, we don't want them staying at your house. We want them staying in hotels.
Yes, we do.
But to go to peakradar.com and think about itineraries of what can we do while people are here and make sure that the arts is part of the stay. And if you are visiting, please, in advance, take a look at the calendar. And while you're going to be here, make sure that if you have to stay one more day, you'll say that it was worth it because we learned on Peak Radar about this particular event.
Yeah,
So,
make your stay a creative stay.
yeah, make your stay a creative stay.
Yeah.
A great way to say it. Scott, thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, it was great. We just love all that you're doing, and it's very special to have you here.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.